Denver Airport has a myriad of symbols that are correlated to the New World Order. There is a dedication stone in the airport that mentions the New World Airport Commission. However, there is no such thing. The New World Airport Commission is made up and was never created. One can only assume that it is alluding to the New World Order. Also, there is a plate on the floor that shows the symbols AUAG. Some may say that this is related to gold and silver. However, one of the sponsors of the airport discovered a new deadly strain of hepatitis known as Australian antigen, and this is also symbolized by AUAG. What is scary is that this symbol is located right in front of a mural on a wall that is about genocide. There are grayish waves emanating from the figure, and these waves represent death, or in this case, a poisonous gas that has killed everyone in its path. This mural is the one with the AUAG symbol, the one that is related to the deadly virus strain. One can also see a line of weeping women holding their dead infants, and a group of dead children on a pile of bricks.
Years ago, many years ago, in fact, 1972, I was sitting at my desk at about 4:30 in the morning at the headquarters of the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Pacific Fleet, arranging the information that had come in over the last 24 hours into a logical order so that we could prepare a briefing for the Admiral and his staff, which would take place later that morning. Among the papers I found on my desk was a document entitled Operation Majority, and it was not the entire paperwork involving this operation, but was merely a synopsis of the operation and projects contained under it. One of these projects was called Project Red Light. The purpose, according to this document, was to back-engineer captured extraterrestrial technology for adaptation into the United States space program. Now, I have since come to believe that the extraterrestrial portion of all of this is nonsense, but that the technology is real. I believe that many of us were shown these documents over the years so that later we would talk about it. I mean, how can you keep the existence of extraterrestrials, if they were real, a secret? And how could anyone keep quiet knowing that they had seen documentation, official government documents labeled top secret, that expressed that these extraterrestrials were real and had visited this earth? I wanted to know just how true all of this was, and I began a program of research to find out if extraterrestrials were real. The first thing I did was collect every bit of documentation that I could find, both from the Freedom of Information Act, from the research of others, from books that had been printed on the subject of UFOs, and of course through my network of friends in the intelligence community. What I discovered was amazing. What I discovered, ladies and gentlemen, is that there has been a plan in existence since about 1917, and probably before that, to create an artificial extraterrestrial threat to this earth in order to create a one-world totalitarian socialist government. One of the first documents that I found in my search was this one, the Imperial Japanese Mission 1917, a record of the reception throughout the United States of the special mission headed by Viscount Ishii. And when the Imperial Japanese Mission was in New York City, they had a dinner, and some pretty famous people spoke at this dinner. One of them was John Dewey. John Dewey is the father of our failing, disastrous public education system. Here's what he said. Listen very carefully. John Dewey, professor of philosophy in Columbia University, who was the next speaker, was listened to with great intentness. He said, quote, "Someone remarked that the best way to unite all the nations on this globe would be an attack from some other planet. In the face of such an alien enemy, people would respond with a sense of their unity of interest end purpose, unquote. Now, bear in mind, folks, that's 1917. One of the next documents that I found, and I found quite a few, but one that's pretty important is called the Report from Iron Mountain, the probability and desirability of permanent peace. Now, I encourage you to find this book, wherever you can find it. I don't know where you can get it, but find it. Page 66. Credibility, in fact, lies at the heart of the problem of developing a political substitute for war. This is where the space race proposals, in many ways so well suited as economic substitutes for war, fall short. The most ambitious and unrealistic space project cannot of itself generate a believable external menace. It has been hotly argued that such a menace would offer the last best hope of peace, etc., by uniting mankind against the danger of destruction by creatures from other planets or from outer space. Experiments have been proposed to test the credibility of an out-of-our-world invasion threat. And it continues on another page. Nevertheless, an effective political substitute for war would require alternate enemies, some of which might seem equally far-fetched in the context of the current war system. It may be, for instance, that gross pollution of the environment can eventually replace the possibility of mass destruction by nuclear weapons as the principal substitute for war.
Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're with the enemy. There's no in-between. You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear.
Some media stations try to give the impression they are fair and balanced when debating an issue. But notice how, in the following clip, that Glenn Beck completely debunks the 9/11 truthers, even after Larry Silverstein admitted that he brought down World Trade Center Building 7 by demolition.
Brace yourself, America. I agree with Bill Maher. Anybody who thinks that 9/11 was carried out by the government isn't a truther. They're idiots. Can you actually imagine that our government was capable of successfully pulling off 9/11 and then keeping it off of the front page of the New York Times?
We now sit at a pinnacle point in the history of humanity as 2012 looms upon us. We either change the way we live and expose our corrupt government system, or we accept it and continue into the downward spiral. Many more will die, and this new world order they wish to impose on us will come true if we decide to do nothing. Therefore, the prophecies of our past can only be decided by you, the viewer. Your actions matter on this earth, so never think you go unheard and are not noticed. Remember, we are dead livestock if we do nothing about this, so please join in the fight which exists around the world. Research many things, and you will help free the burden which is cast upon the human spirit all over the world. Let your voice be heard. Join the protest on July 1st to July 4th, 2011, the North American March of Revolution. Look for the group on Facebook and spread the word. Do whatever you can. Do your part. Together, we can stop the true evil that has infested our beautiful earth.
But the ultimate outcome of anything that happens here on this earth in our future is going to depend on us, not on some outside group of people from anywhere.
Let me just jump in real quick, and right in the middle of this thing is there anything right now before we go on that we can do? What we do is we impart this information all over the place. We're into networking, and is there any kind of a certain message that we can give out now to people that just may be the first time that they're seeing it? Like the message I always put out is to love all things, but do as you wish. That's the message that I put out that I've gotten since I've been in the UFO stuff. And that's basically, it says, just, take responsibility for your actions, but do whatever you think needs to be done, And if it's to come down on people that are hurting our planet, then we need to come down on them. We need to expose them, not just hope they're going to go away, because they're not going to go away. Is there any kind of a thing that you can zap us with?
Yeah, I like what Teddy Roosevelt said. He said basically what you said, but he sort of covered himself. He said, walk softly, but carry a big stick. It's okay to love the world and love everybody you meet. But for instance, in my situation,
everything. That
right.
means the planet. That means the earth.
Absolutely. There are intelligent people out there who unfortunately don't think that way. And if you let your guard down and give them unconditional love, they're going to smack you upside the head with a 2x4. So there has to be a maturity and a responsibility in everything that we do. What I would say to everyone, if this is the first time they've ever heard me, is don't believe a word I'm saying or anyone else is saying. My message, I guess, to everyone, and it's what I'm trying to put across in my book, all my lectures, everything that I do, is that you got to learn to use your own brain, learn to do your own research. Don't follow anyone blindly, and for God's sake, never worship a leader.
Right.
And that's the only way you can find your own truth. And that's the only thing in this world that counts is your own truth. But it's got to be the truth. You can't fool yourself, and you can't let other people fool you. The concept that someone is just one person and that they're helpless is totally false. Look back through history and see how many times throughout the history of the human race, one single, solitary, lonely, fragile human being has changed and altered forever the entire course of civilization and human events from that point. And they're no different then or now than you or I or the man running the camera or the woman next door. They were flesh and blood, scared, lonely human beings just like everybody else.
Rockefellers, come back. We don't want your New World Order, you know? Keep chilling right now. Keep chilling. You are not... You're killing a lot of people. You're killing a lot of people. Live here. Live Chile right now. Live Chile. Live Chile. We don't want your world government. Live Chile right now. Live Chile, okay? Live Chile. Your family. Your family is the most disgusting in the world, you know? Live here. Live. You also, you're a traitor to Chile. Mr. Agustino, you're a traitor to Chile, okay? You're a traitor to Chile. What you're doing right now, okay? 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 You know it? You know everything. You're participating with him. You're participating with him in this. Your world government will fail, okay? Will fail! Your world government will fail! Will fail! Will fail! You know it! Leave Chile right now! We don't want you here! We don't want you disgusting thing here! Leave Chile now!
Social experiment right here. The next 4 minutes is gonna change your life, so listen up. Allow me to take y'all back through time to 1868, to when a company incorporates, and its name was the United States, based on the UK, and the trade is to turn every single newborn into a slave. Our true potential and meaning of life is lost. All I can think about is making a wage, and to disguise their demise, they change the names of their employees and citizens. And just like every other privately owned business, there needs to be a president. All of our sovereignty lost to corporate greed at the cost of our freedom. Toss aside, work for the man who died. You'll be 90 years old the time you retire. This is the hook, make sure that it sinks in real deep. The letter S in front of words let verbal weapons speak. From coast to coast, shore to shore, and north to south, we must unite. With these facts, the strongest weapon is your brain and mouth. Our currency creates the current of the sea. The cash flows in streams, but it hardly reaches you and me. All rivers have two sides, on each side is a bank. All wars have had two sides, on each side was a bank. So many have exposed this, but so quickly they were sank. When the ship docks itself, the term is called a birth. And we the product down the birth canal. When we reach the dock we're cursed. Bodies of water, we're born into the slaughter. This is the hook, make sure that it sinks in real deep. The letter S in front of words let verbal weapons speak. From coast to coast, shore to shore, and north to south, we must unite. words, let verbal weapons speak. From coast to coast, shore to shore and north to south, we must unite with this past. The strongest weapon is your brain and mouth. Indoctrination for centuries are